Hi guys, I'm Ben. Nice to meet you. I want to talk about one word. It's invention, and it's why we're all here. Humans are here to invent and leave the world a better place than we found it. But I want to show you a few examples first of why I think we need to get back on the right side of invention, do the right kind of invention rather. Most of the smart people in the world right now, in my opinion, someone spoke about this a little earlier, they're working on easy stuff. But I come from New York, and this building is the most beautiful building in the world. It's the Empire State Building. Does anyone know how long it took to build the Empire State Building? Someone does here. Some smarty pants. Huh? It took 1 year and 45 days to build the Empire State Building. Does anyone know how long it took to build this fucking potato peeler? Anyone? Anyone? It took over 3 years to build this potato peeler. Okay? So if you want to do the math, it was 410 days for the Empire State Building. Beautiful building, still stands today, gorgeous. This is the Freedom Tower, just topped out last Monday. Does anyone know how long it took to build this Freedom Tower? How many days since September 11th? 4,332 days. It's actually, the building's the same height in terms of number of floors, and then they just put this giant spire up to make it feel like it was higher. The Lockheed P-80, the first fighter jet, was built in 143 days. This is still the fastest commercial jet in the world, but it was designed in the 50s. It was flown completely mechanically with no onboard computers. We are all inventors, but for some reason, this really smart people, besides the people in this room, because your guys are doing really cool stuff, taking on hard challenges, they're taking on simpler stuff. Now, my story is one I'd like to tell you now. When I was in high school, I was a terrible student, like the worst student in the world. I was sitting in the back of math class my senior year in high school, and I was trying to figure out a way to listen to my iPod Shuffle without my teacher realizing that I wasn't listening to her. And I went home and I cut some Apple earbuds in half. I had some ribbon and gift wrap, and I soldered it together. I created this lanyard keychain so it would conceal the wires so your teacher wouldn't realize that you were listening. And so I went, and I thought the only thing standing in my way, and most inventors think this, the only thing standing in my way was a little bit of money. So I went and convinced my parents to remortgage their house and hand me $185,000. They did that. I don't know why, but they did. I got on the next flight to China before my high school graduation. I landed in Shenzhen, and I quickly realized that all the things standing in my way had nothing to do with money. They had to do with the realities and the complexities of building a consumer product. All the different things that individual person or small group of people need to know in order to get through all of these different things. Manufacturing, design, engineering. I don't know why I have all these things. Manufacturing, design, marketing, merchandising, retail. It's really hard to take it from the beginning and bring it all the way out to the end. And what that results in is the fact that the best ideas in the world are not in the world. They're locked in people's heads. And even if they are in the world in the form of one or two or a small batch, they're not mass. The world doesn't know about all the good stuff happening. I started Quirky now 4 years ago with a very simple mission statement: to make invention accessible, to make sure that all the great ideas in the world actually get out into the world. So, how do we do it? We do it with technology, community, and an expert team coming together to solve problems. It's not the traditional form of crowdsourcing or whatever. I hate the word, but crowdsourcing is all pull. It's the fact that the community are smarter than the experts. What Quirky is just very simply, it's a conversation. It doesn't matter who's right. There's no egos, right? All we want to do is make sure that the best ideas in the world are surfaced and pushed out. So we have an expert product design team of industrial designers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, manufacturing people, etc. We have a community of people around the world that we've never met that are sharing their ideas and helping us refine ours. And then we have a technology platform that powers all of it. An example you may be familiar with is this great story of a kid from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who NASA came around his high school and said, we want to inspire the next generation of inventors. Why don't you kids all make a product? So Jake went home, this guy named Jake. He went home and he saw that his power strip was only using 3 of the 6 outlets because these big power bricks were getting in the way. And he did this trifold board and submitted it to the NASA product design competition. is a perfect example of why invention is inaccessible. He actually won the NASA product design competition. They gave him a T-shirt. That was it. It was a T-shirt. They said, "Good job, kid. Follow your dreams." And Jake, Jake's kind of a goofy guy. He's like, "All right, bro." And Jake sat on the idea for 3 years because he couldn't commercialize articulating power strip with a T-shirt. He needed to get to the regulatory stuff, manufacturing, etc. It was fine for him to, now with the tools available, he probably could have built one or two, but he sat on the idea until he heard about Quirky. He came to Quirky, the community came together, 709 people influenced and impacted the creation of this product, which is known as the Pivot Power. Where is it? I might have it in here. It's a flexible power strip. There we go. So it's the first flexible power strip in the world, and so we've given Jake a little bit more than a T-shirt. At this point, Jake has probably made over $1 million. He'll make another $1 million this year, and this is just one product. We actually commercialize 3 brand new consumer products every single week. And we do this through the help of, again, all these 3 groups coming together. Really smart people on our in-house team, random dreamers and inventors and creators out in the world, and then sort of the beauty of bringing all these things together at scale. So this is a group coming together to take on the right kind of invention, to solve problems like we used to. Everyone asks me why Quirky Works. Well, Quirky Works because of this quote from another awesome Benjamin. He said, "Tell me, and I'll forget," right? If you tell me something, it's going to fade my memory and it might not stick. If you show me, I might remember, right? I'll make a visual connection to it. It'll be sweet. But if you involve me, then I'll truly understand. Now, we don't listen to everything the community tells us to do. The community doesn't listen to everything we tell them to do. But we involve each other in the creation of new things. And because of the fact that we understand each other implicitly, we're building a brand around the fact that all of us are smarter than any one of us. That's Ben Franklin. So the first thing is taking on the right kind of invention, right? Building real products and taking on real challenges. 100 years of progress. So everyone close your eyes for a second, ditch the iPhones and so on, and imagine a world 100 years from now. 100 years, right? You got your jetpack on, everything's dope. So wait. Now we got to rewind, though. 100 years of progress. So this is 1909. Dude's name is Henry Ford, right? It was the first commercially viable automobile. It was black. It only came in black. It was sort of SUV-like. It got 17 miles per gallon. 100 years in the future, okay? 2009. Anyone know what the best-selling car in America was? All right, you guys are so smart. It was black. It was a Ford. It was SUV-like. It was a truck, right? It got 16 miles a gallon. So what happens to all of us in the world of creation and invention and product development is once we have something, then we just become incremental. And when we become incremental, we don't take on sort of the enormity of the challenges we do when we're just trying to solve that initial problem. And I think the way we do that is the way we start fixing that is by building an infrastructure around making it easy to always take on the hardest problem that we have as a society, and not sort of get mired in the details of, well, how am I going to make this, or how am I going to get it into distribution? Just truly just run straight towards every single one of the big problems. So that's the first, key thing that I wanted to talk about today. I got 100 days of progress at Quirky if you want to see this real quick. Jenny Drinkard, Atlanta, Georgia, looked around her dorm room. She said that she was using a milk crate for everything besides storing milk. So she wanted to create a beautiful milk crate, because they're fairly ugly, that would become a beautiful modular furniture system. So this is actually a Maker Faire last year. But our community came together with our design team, etc. We built a hardened steel tool in New Jersey. We found a molder in Vermont, and within 100 days, we had built a beautiful modular furniture and storage system that shipped to Target exactly 100 days after Jenny submitted the idea to the site. Now, this isn't a vehicle, right? It's not anything, but this went from $0 to $1 million in 4 days through distribution at a major national retailer. This is what we can do by bringing together technology, community, etc. So, this is the second part. This is the thing I'm really excited about. So, did I not seem excited about the other? Okay. So first is the right kind of invention. And the second is the right side of invention. Invention is this weird thing. You know when you play that game and you say, I'm going to say something, and you say another word, right, that like reminds you of it? When you say invention, most of America would probably say patent, right? Invention, patent. Idea, patent. No, we patent things at Quirky. We sort of do that, but there's this weird thing going on in the patent landscape. You know, the patent system was originally created to both protect inventors, but at the same time provide a blueprint for societal progress and to inspire future inventors. But right now we're just seeing, I just said that, sorry. Right now we're just seeing a lot of this. Check this out. Everyone's just suing each other. Right? Patents aren't a source of inspiration anymore. They're not trying to move our society forward. They're a weapon of corporate warfare. But that's not why the patent system was created. So is there a way that we could sort of put patents back in their place? Wow, I'm like way behind my slides. Okay. So we want to sort of be cognizant of the fact that when you file a patent and you're an inventor, usually what you're really focused on is trying to figure out how I can protect my invention in my domain, right? So Apple wants to make sure that no one uses their patents for building smartphones. You know, GE wants to make sure no one uses their patents for building jet engines. But do they really care if someone creates something using that same thing in another category? I don't know what that's about. Okay, that's... This is Quirky's new thing. It's an inspiration platform. What we want to create is we want to create this ecosystem of patents where institutions and colleges and all these different places, big companies that are creating masses of intellectual property basically say, guys, here's what you can't use this patent for, but at the same time, what the hell else could you do with it? So we kicked this off initially with GE. This plays a giant GE commercial. And GE is amazing. What they're saying is we have one of the largest patent portfolios in the world, I think 30,000 plus patents. A big portion of those, we're just interested in making sure people don't build MRI machines with. But at the same time, there's amazing imaging technology, there's amazing sort of sound and light sensors, et cetera. And we want to see what can be done with that in the consumer world. So what they're doing is they're putting these patents up. They're letting the world come up with consumer uses for these devices, and then Quirky will commercialize them and make them real products, which basically benefits everyone involved, from community to GE to Quirky and everyone. I think this is a really big idea. If you can take patents, and without changing the entire patent landscape, which I think we can all agree needs to happen at some point, but if you can make an immediate change today and say, how do we put patents in a place where they're inspiring future generations of invention? And not being competitive to existing inventors. That's a pretty awesome thing. So that's my spiel. So here's the thing about Quirky. We started the company to make invention accessible, to make sure that all the best product ideas get out into the world. But for 4 years now, we've been known as a purveyor of fine plastic goods. Right? I know the people are laughing know our company. Now that's cool. But the mission is to make invention accessible, and invention comes in all sorts of different sizes. And what I want to show you is while the PowerShip is sort of on the more complicated end of the product portfolio we currently make, this is a fun little thing. This is a soft good, but it's a beach bag. And when you go to the beach, you get all sorts of sand in the bag. So you open this up, and there's mesh at the bottom, so the sand comes out. This crowd's like, whatever. So I got this whole demo here. You want to see me crack an egg and suck the egg yolk out? You into that? No, you're like, it doesn't have a processor in it. But check this out. This is from a guy in the middle of Texas. His doctor told him to watch his cholesterol. He said, I want to create this thing that'll suck the egg yolk out of an egg. It's actually quite cool. So that's the white, that's the yolk, and boom. So listen. Oh, wait. See, you didn't want to see it, but now you wanted to see it. So wait, there's one more. This one's cool. This is from a guy in Michigan. He said, I want to spray the juice out of my lemon, put it on salads and stuff like that. So he just sprayed it a few times, and and you have your lemon juice. No. I want to illustrate something. At Quirky, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build this entire infrastructure around invention. In order to do that, we need to take on rather simple challenges first. Build a manufacturing line, set up the distribution. You can find Quirky products in like 35,000 retail doors all around the world. Now that we have that, we're sort of slowly increasing the sophistication of stuff we're working on. Also with GE, we're taking on an entire line of connected home devices. We're taking on some really cool mechanical and electrical challenges. So the community and the product line that we create is up to you. What we hope to do is just provide the platform and the service to make sure that nothing stands in your way. That's the majority of what I got, so thank you. Thank you.